Yo, it's that shit, my boy. I like this. Yeah, cause I say that I'm up. Yeah. Yo, I'm up. Can I say that I'm up? Yeah. Check this out right here. Here we go again, people. The vibes is here. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Shooting the Breeze. If you're new here, this is where we talk hip hop culture, some of the music. Also, we give just real perspectives, relationships, sports. Try not to get into too many hardcore political issues, but nonetheless, we're just shooting the breeze, just giving really authentic conversation and just genuine takes with context. And before I get into everything, make sure you guys comment, like, and subscribe. Check for those notifications of Shooting the Breeze. Also, Happy New Year to everybody tapping in. Happy 2026. Wishing health, growth, and clarity to you and yours. And for anybody that knows me, I am a husband, father. Also, I'm an independent hip hop artist. It's your boy Nighttime. I've got a mixtape out right now called LA Meets Milwaukee, where I did a partnered up thing with my boy Half Breed over at PBP Recordings. We linked up, rocked over some instrumentals. Nonetheless, we giving it to you for $5. So if you support independent hip hop, look at the link in the description. Make sure you check that out and support that. And also you'll see a couple of other projects that I've done. The Vibe Out, produced by my man Big Stacks, as well as The Balance of Power, also produced by my man Big Stacks. I have a new project that's going to be dropping first quarter. We're in the first quarter, but it's going to be dropping shortly into the first quarter here. It's called The Time Is Now. And then I'm actually working with a man Half Breed who's doing the full production on this project. I'm excited about that. But nonetheless, this actually allows me to kind of segue perfectly into today's topic. And today, what I want to talk about is something, in my opinion, I think hip hop gets wrong often and kind of over again. And to me, it's the way in which we judge albums too fast. Not even just after the first week, but sometimes not even after a full listen. Okay? In my opinion, I feel like we live in a time where an album can be called trash or a classic within the first 24 hours. And I myself, I say I should ask myself, are we actually listening or are we more so reacting? Because those two things are very, very different. So this actually takes me to my first point, and that is some albums just aren't made for the viral moment. They are really made for replay value. There's albums that aren't built for the first day hype. You have some albums that are really built for replay value. These albums are albums that you may listen to on the first listen, but then on the fifth, sixth, and 20th, whatever listens you give them, it just sounds better. Two examples from me, and this is for the hip hop heads out there, and also for you young dudes who want to do a little research as well. The first one is Little Brother's album called The Minstrel Show. This is produced by my man Ninth Wonder. You got Big Pooh and Fonte on the microphone on this particular album, but this project didn't knock down the doors immediately. But the more you listen to it, you started to see more layers that were revealed within this project. You saw the concepts were dope. They had a lot of great humor in the project, and there was just a lot of growth from their first project. Second one, and some of you hip hop heads may know this one. Some of you may not know this one, but to me, This project is slept on. Actually, one of my good friends, MD, shout out to MD, he actually put me on to these guys, and that is Blue and Exile. Blue and Exile had an album that they dropped, I want to say back in 2007, called Below the Heavens. Listen, this album is dope. Beautiful production, well executed MCing, bars, just a really good piece. This record, again, it wasn't loud, it wasn't chasing singles, but over time, people started to realize how special that project um, was and still is. And again, those were albums that were really made to last for a long period of time. Now, let me get into my second point. And my second point is kind of the word that is thrown around way too much. I was actually having a conversation with my cousin and one of his good friends over the weekend. And the word I feel that gets thrown around way too much and way too loosely is classic. A classic to me, and I'll let you guys kind of look it up as well, but a classic isn't just something that you like when it dropped. Like, you can predict that it will be a classic, and it's fine that the album grabs you right away. There's been hundreds of albums that I've listened to immediately, and I'm like, man, this album is going to be a classic, but it's not a classic right now. A classic is an album that ages well. Okay. It still gets played years later. It influences the culture after its release. It sounds honest no matter what the era is. So time to me is what crowns classics, not timelines. Let me get to point number three. And like I told you guys, I like to provide context when I'm speaking on certain things. But my point number three leads me to Illmatic and Reasonable Doubt. Okay. I want to say in my top five list, and I'll reveal my top five at some point, but Nas and Jay are in my top five. I have Nas as number one, Jay as number two. Nonetheless, if you look at Nas's Illmatic, when that album dropped, it wasn't a massive commercial explosion, and it didn't go platinum right away. It actually took that album about 7 years before it went platinum. And I want to say that album dropped in 94. Okay. Same thing with Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt album. That album wasn't like this instant blockbuster album either. Both over time, however, as people live with those projects, both albums grew on you. Word spread, influence spread, and the respect spread. All right. And now both of those albums are universally bona fide hip hop classics. Not because of first week numbers, but because these albums stood the test of time and people are still having conversations about them, and they still get spins in hip hop spaces. All right. Number four. And I think this is a pretty important thing here. It's kind of why people keep missing this logic till this day. And I think one of the biggest problems is the algorithm. You figure, obviously, platforms like this, TikTok, a lot of the other social media platforms, they're built for speed, right? They're not built for substance. It's designed for the quick take, the viral moment. It's not built for substance. So that's kind of why I believe the algorithm is a part of the problem as it pertains to allowing albums to digest, because you hear all of these polarizing perspectives on a project. Oh, I hate it. It's not good. It's a classic, right? You kind of hear those quick takes, and then they kind of go out there um, in the viral world. I also think another part of the problem is just short attention spans. Obviously, that kind of goes to the algorithm, speed dating. As I kind of talked about earlier, people not really wanting to listen to something that's longer, right? Also, I think another part of the problem is everybody wants to be the first instead of being right. We don't sit with albums like we once did anymore. That even goes to some of the older listeners. They've kind of fallen into that same trap. And I'm saying that anecdotally, all right? Like I said, we speed date them. And then people kind of wonder why nothing feels classic anymore, right? I don't know. As you can kind of see here, I am getting ready to wrap this up. But before I do, I just want to give my personal perspective as an artist as well as a listener, and as someone who really listens to music and who makes it. I've learned that some things take time to make sense. Sometimes you don't feel a record until life changes, and when it finally does and life catches up to you, that's when it finally hits, and that's when sometimes some of these albums may resonate with you. And I think the mindset for me as a creative with my project, The Time Is Now, is that I'm not chasing reactions. I'm building it for time, because when the moment passes, the music will still be here and it'll stand. Also, too, I think what listeners can do better, I think as listeners, at least in my opinion, I think we owe the music more than just 1, 2, 3 spins. I think we need to sit with it. I think we need to come back to it sometimes, let it grow. You don't have to love everything immediately either, so I'm not saying that. But at the same time, you don't have to bury stuff so quickly. You know what? Hip hop doesn't have a talent problem. It has a patience problem, in my opinion. Again, I'm just saying that anecdotally. And the albums will still be talking about, in my personal opinion, are usually the ones that people kind of rush to judgment about in the first place. So listen, if that resonates with you guys, tap in with the channel, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments, what's an album you didn't love at first, but it grew on you over time? Yo, that's your boy Nighttime. I'm done. This is Shooting the Breeze. I appreciate you guys for listening. I'll catch you guys on the next one.
The words that I speak is power, vivid as cameras, aggression and ambition of low piles of stamina. The panorama's what I'm seeing up top, because the bottom it was covered with slop plus confrontational ops. The road ahead is possibilities, finesse your progress, the hit goes for memories. The tendency is stagnation, limited sensation, a lock is on, I know what a combination. Obligation, what you facing, but you be rarely chasing. Not even moving at a turtle's pacing, it's so problematic. The mental fog and the brain static, the able body damage kinda tragic. Now you fighting over Popeyes, dry skin looking cockeyed. Decisions that you make is rolling snake eyes. Can't even get a job at Five Guys. I guess I can't be surprised, procrastination is the thief of your time.